You don't help people just because you're kind. You help them because you're scared. Scared of being left out. Scared of being seen as difficult. Scared that if you're not useful, you're disposable. Your generosity isn't just love. It's protection. You overextend, overgive, overcommit. Because a quiet voice inside keeps whispering, if I stop being helpful, they'll stop loving me. And no one sees it. To the world, you're the reliable one, the good friend, the kind soul, the one who's always there. But behind closed doors, you're drained, resentful, lonely, and terrified to stop giving, because you've built your worth on being needed. This isn't kindness. This is a survival strategy you learned long ago, when being loved meant being useful. And now, even as an adult, you're still earning your right to exist. One favor, one sacrifice, one silent yes at a time. But what if I told you the love you're chasing can't be earned, and the rejection you fear is already living inside you? Stay with me, because this video might finally explain why you feel so exhausted, even when everyone says you're amazing. This didn't start yesterday. This pattern goes all the way back to when you were just a child, learning the rules of love without even realizing it. Maybe your parents were emotionally distant. Maybe love came only when you behaved, helped, or stayed quiet. Maybe being good was the only way you felt safe. So you adapted. You became the responsible one, the easy one, the one who didn't ask for much, because asking meant risking disappointment, or rejection, or silence. So instead, you gave, and gave, and gave, not just to be kind, but to survive. Because somewhere along the way, you started believing, if I'm not needed, I'm not wanted. If I say no, they'll leave. And now, even as an adult, those same fears still live inside you. You offer your time, your energy, your heart, but it's not always a gift. Sometimes it's a bargain, a silent deal. I'll take care of you. Please don't abandon me. But love built on fear isn't love. It's dependency in disguise. Let's go deeper. You've built an identity around being there for others. You listen, you fix, you support, and yet, somehow, you still feel unseen. Because when you're not helping, you don't know who you are. You feel empty, anxious, like you're fading into the background. That's the trap. Your sense of self has become tied to your usefulness, not your joy, not your truth, not your boundaries, just your ability to give. And it's exhausting. You end up in one-sided relationships. You feel guilty for resting. You're constantly afraid of being too much if you ever ask for something. But here's something no one tells you. You don't have to keep proving your worth. Not to your friends, not to your partner, not even to your family, and especially not to yourself. This space was created for people like you. People who feel deeply, care deeply, and are finally ready to understand the hidden patterns beneath it all. So if this is resonating, if something inside you is quietly saying, "This is me," consider staying connected here. You don't have to figure it all out alone anymore. Now, let's talk about the moment you realized giving was safer than receiving. There was a moment, maybe small, maybe forgotten, when you reached out, and no one came. You needed comfort. You needed care. But instead, you were met with silence, disappointment, maybe even punishment. That moment carved something deep inside you. It's safer to give than to need. So you stopped asking, you stopped expecting, and you started pouring yourself into others instead. Not because you didn't need anything, but because needing had become dangerous. You became the helper, the giver, the strong one. But here's the painful truth. Being the strong one is often just a role we take on because no one showed up when we were weak. So you learned to anticipate other people's needs because you hoped. If you gave enough, loved enough, stayed long enough, maybe one day someone would finally do the same for you. But that day rarely comes. Because people get used to your silence. They believe your smile. They take your strength at face value. They don't see the quiet ache behind your kindness. You've spent years being there for everyone else. When was the last time someone asked how you were doing? And really meant it. You smile, you show up, you say, "It's okay, I don't mind." But deep down, you do. You're tired of always being the one who adjusts, the one who bends, the one who carries emotional weight that no one ever thanks you for. And yet, you keep doing it. Why? Because the alternative feels even worse. Disappointing someone, letting them down, hearing, even subtly, "You've changed. You're not as nice as you used to be." That fear lives in your body. You feel it in your chest when you say no. You feel it in your gut when you take time for yourself. You feel it in the tension after every conversation where you didn't meet someone's unspoken expectations. So instead of expressing your needs, you repress them. Instead of asking for support, you offer more of yourself. But here's what no one tells you. Chronic self-sacrifice doesn't make people love you more. It just teaches them that you don't have needs, that you'll always be fine, that they don't have to show up for you because you never ask them to. And over time, that's not love. That's emotional invisibility. So if you've been wondering why your relationships feel one-sided, why you feel so alone while being so loved, this is why. You're not weak for feeling this. You're human. You don't know how to just be, to exist without fixing, helping, giving. Because when you're not useful, you feel unworthy, like dead weight, like an inconvenience. It's not that you don't want to rest, it's that rest feels unsafe, lazy, selfish, almost shameful. That's not by accident. You were conditioned to believe that love must be earned, with effort, with sacrifice, with silence. So you overfunction. You anticipate needs. You clean up emotional messes that aren't yours. You apologize just for existing too loudly. You've mistaken performance for connection. And you've worn this mask for so long that even you can't tell where the act ends and the real you begins. But here's the thing. You were never meant to live like this. To be in constant service to everyone but yourself. To believe that your worth lives in what you give away. The people who truly love you don't need you to shrink. They don't need you to overcompensate. They need you, the real, whole, resting, honest version of you. The one who says, I can't right now. The one who has needs too. The one who isn't performing to be kept. And maybe that's the scariest part, because it means risking the very thing you've worked so hard to prevent, rejection. But what if being real is the only way to finally be loved? You've spent your life editing yourself, toning it down, holding it in, keeping the peace so others won't walk away. You think, if they see the real me, the tired me, the angry me, the needy me, they'll leave. So you've made yourself small, palatable, pleasant. But deep down you're angry, not at others, but at yourself for betraying your own needs again and again just to feel safe. You're tired of being liked but not known. Tired of being appreciated but not truly seen. Tired of giving everything and getting crumbs in return. And here's the painful irony. The more you hide your truth to avoid rejection, the more disconnected you feel. You think you're protecting yourself, but what you're really doing is rejecting yourself first, just so no one else gets the chance to. That's not protection. That's self-abandonment. The people who love the version of you that never needs, never complains, never says no, they don't really know you. And deep down, you know that. So the question is, will you keep choosing safety over authenticity? Or is it time to take the risk of being fully seen, even if it scares you? Because the love you're looking for only exists where the real you is allowed to show up. You've done enough. You've proved enough. You've given more than anyone ever asked for, and still, it never feels like it's enough. Because the emptiness you're trying to fill was never meant to be filled with approval. It was meant to be healed with truth. You've built your identity around being the one who holds it all together. But who's holding you? You've tried to be easy to love. By being quiet. By being helpful. By being perfect. But the people who only love you when you're convenient, that's not love. That's dependency. That's comfort. That's conditional affection disguised as connection. And you deserve better. You deserve relationships where your no is respected, where your needs aren't seen as a burden, where your presence matters, even when you have nothing to offer. Can you imagine that? Being loved without having to perform for it? It's possible. But it starts with one hard, beautiful truth. You are allowed to exist, rest, and be seen without giving anything in return. Because you were never put on this earth just to serve other people's comfort. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you start caring about the most important person, you. When you stop defining your worth by what you give, you open space for real connection, where love is not a transaction, but a mutual exchange. It's scary to put down the mask, to say no without apology, to ask for what you need. But here's what many never tell you. The people who truly belong in your life will welcome the real you, the tired, messy, imperfect you, the one who needs rest, the one who has boundaries, the one who says, "I'm not okay," and means it. And the ones who walk away, they were never meant to stay. Choosing yourself means choosing freedom. Freedom from exhaustion. Freedom from resentment. freedom from the constant fear of rejection. And in that freedom, you finally begin to see who you really are and who truly loves you. You don't have to earn love anymore. You don't have to prove your worth with endless giving. You don't have to hide behind generosity to protect yourself. The real gift you can give to yourself and to others is simply showing up as you are, with your fears, your needs, your limits. When you dare to be vulnerable, when you allow yourself to be seen without masks, something incredible happens. You become free, free from the chains of fear and obligation, free to rest, free to say no, free to love and be loved without conditions. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it, because the deepest connection, the one that heals your soul, starts with one brave act: choosing to be seen, choosing to be loved, choosing to be you. Thank you for trusting yourself enough to watch this. Remember, you are enough, just as you are.